Hello, welcome to this vlog. My name is Taylor. If you're new here, I love to talk about books from a biblical perspective. So today I'm doing a reading vlog and hold on, I should grab the book. Hold on. Look at me not being prepared for this vlog, but I am reading a very hyped book, A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. If you haven't seen my April TBR, you should go check it out because my TBR chose this. My TBR jar chose this. I have been actively avoiding Francine Rivers for the longest time, even though I own the 3 books in the series, the Mark of the Lion trilogy, because I've heard things about Francine that makes me nervous about reading her books. I've always heard they are gut-punching, emotional rides, a lot of times with gritty, real-life detail, I guess. And that's not my typical wheelhouse. I tend to prefer books that I can escape reality, kind of have comfort reads. And that's not Francine's books. She doesn't shy away from telling things like they are, I guess. So I picked this book out of the TBR jar, and so I'm going to attempt to read it. I am apprehensive, but I do appreciate everybody in the comments who were very supportive and saying how great the book is, and really helped convince me to actually go for it because I was still questioning it despite the TBR jar's pick. So several of you said that this is your favorite book, favorite series. It's so good. Some other people said that you couldn't even finish it. So I'm very curious to see where I land out in the spectrum of reading this book in particular. The only thing I really know about it is that it is after Jesus' death. I know there's a character named Hadassah, and I think there's a Roman dude in here, maybe. I'm not sure. Other than that, knowing that it's a faith journey, you know, there's Roman stuff just from the cover. I know that. But other than those things, I know diddly squat, and that's okay. I like going into books kind of blind. So we'll see how this goes. I will keep you apprised of my thoughts. I'm also intimidated by... This is a thicker book than I typically read, and the audiobook is 21 hours and something. Yeah, that's the longest audiobook I'm gonna attempt. Although I started listening to it a little bit, and I don't know if I like it. It's a guy reading it, and I don't know, he just seems kind of monotone and dry to me. So I'm gonna physically read for this initial bit, and we'll see if I pick up the audiobook later. But I have it. I got it from Hoopla. It is also very nice that this is Ashina's April Francine Rivers book club pick. So I have emotional support from other people who are reading this too. So that's really cool. So that's another reason why I felt more inclined to read it, because yeah, I've heard some things that this is tough. So anyways, I'll let you know what I think in the next clip. I finished chapter 1, and it was indeed very intense. I was thinking that this book was going to be intense, and chapter 1 definitely was intense. I have to say that I do not know much about this time period in history, the first church. I don't know much about it other than the fact that it was very dangerous to be a Christian. A lot of Christians were persecuted and killed in very brutal ways. And I'm pretty sure all but one of the disciples were killed. Yeah, I know it's not a good time to be a Christian, but I didn't know like the extent of how awful things were, the details and things. Like the first 2 pages of this chapter are talking about Jerusalem being under siege, being torn apart from the inside by different factions of Jews fighting each other, and then Rome basically coming in for the death blow. And yeah, it's just awful. And Hadassah and her family are in the midst of this. They are Christians, and her dad was killed for spreading the gospel. And so her mom and her 2 siblings are left behind, and they're basically starving because they're in the middle of a war zone, and it's just very hard. And like you read about all these people that are getting killed, and the Romans hating the Jews and just killing them for no reason, and they're fearing for their lives, and they're eating shield leather from a dead Roman soldier. Like, man, that's got to be that's awful. And now they can't even find that. Just the fact of you eating leather is just boggles the mind. And it talked about some woman being so hungry she ate her child, and I'm like, this is awful. But I'm assuming this is based on real stories from the time, factual things. So I appreciate that. I did not live during this time, but it's as brutal and as dark as this did actually happen in human history. So, or at least not Hadassah, obviously, but like the historical context. I'm assuming this is all factual truth. So it's introducing me to things that I did not know happened. So Hadassah, she's gone through it, the poor girl. I'm going to try and keep this as spoiler free as I possibly can, mainly focusing on my emotions and giving vague details. But I can tell you the first chapter, Hadassah's been through a lot. And it says at the end that something about how she has not as strong faith, like whenever she is living in easy times back at home where everything was beautiful, she had strong faith. But in this situation, in this circumstance, she has the weakest faith in her family. And I thought that was just a really interesting thing. And basically, the theme, I guess, of God choosing someone who is seemingly unworthy, the one you would least expect to be the protagonist of a story, that, that's what God does in the Bible. And she's kind of taking that theme with Hadassah, because she admits that she has the weakest faith out of her family, and yet she is the center of this story. So I thought that was really good. You can tell Francine is very talented. I mean, I can easily see why she's someone's favorite author, or a lot of people's favorite author. I do think you have to be in a very specific mood to read this. And I am contemplating like listening to a happy audiobook to kind of offset the emotional turmoil that I know is about to ensue. We'll see. But that's my initial thoughts on chapter 1. I am going to be continuing. I've been told that it's a little bit dry right now, just a tad. Especially like I had to reread half of the first chapter to really let it sink in. The audiobook, I don't know if I can do it, y'all. It's very, in the monotoneness, I don't know if I can, but maybe whenever things pick up a little bit more, maybe I can stomach the audiobook more, but we'll see. And if I can't, it will take me even longer to physically read this book. So anyways, I am on the precipice of a journey here. Let's go. Hello, I just got done filming my Talks with Tay Tuesday. So it is Tuesday, April 21st. And as I was filming that, I was thinking, oh, I've been talking about A Voice in the Wind, but I haven't updated my actual vlog for this yet. So I need to do that. So I am halfway through. And I have several thoughts that I'm just trying to remember to say to y'all. One of them being that I definitely agree that this book will not be for everyone. There are some difficult topics, and I think Francine is known for this, so this shouldn't come as a surprise for anybody who's remotely familiar with Francine. It's just different when you're reading it. But content so far that has been included, rape / sexual assault, definitely violence. This is during the time of Rome, so gladiators were a thing. Just the depravity that was Rome back then. I don't know what to say, but some of this stuff is a difficult pill to swallow, because this was a reality of the time, very messed up part of human nature on display in this time in Rome. And Francine writes in a way, at least so far that I've written, it's not overly detailed. Like, I've definitely read more detailed stuff, but you definitely know what's happened. And I would say if you are remotely a sensitive reader with any of those things I mentioned, I probably would not recommend this book. So there's actually 3 characters in this. I did not know there's 3 POVs. Hadassah is a Jewish Christian. Marcus, who is a Roman aristocrat, very much involved in the Roman lifestyle, and he talks a lot about his conquests, and he is very, very greedy, very selfish. And then there is Atreides. I always say his name wrong. Atreides. He is a German who has been enslaved by Rome and is a gladiator. So, yeah, there's some stuff with Atreides where he's like killing people. In his mind, he has no choice because otherwise they would kill him. He's a pagan worshiper. He's not a Christian. There's a lot of stuff about pagan worship in here. And there are scenes where he talks about, like, they send him a slave woman type of thing. But it's like she shows up and then it, like, goes on to the next paragraph, like, afterwards. So there's enough there where, like I said, if you're highly sensitive, would not recommend. But for me, there's a couple of parts where I'm like, but, I'm moving right along. And I just kept thinking, I don't like reading about that, but for a historical fiction book, it does help me understand this time period a lot more. Some things that I didn't necessarily click in my head before, I didn't connect the dots. So it's helping me learn what was happening. And I don't want to ever, I said this before on my channel, I don't want to ever look at the world through rose-colored lenses. I think there's a time and place for learning things. So I will say that I probably would have not even attempted this book, but at the very least probably have DNF'd this in the past. So this is a good time for me to read this because I am expanding my reading at this point in my life. Very intense. Like I said, that's the one word that I keep coming across as far as explaining this is intense. I like Hadassah's character. She says her faith is weak, but to me, it's strong. And she's struggling with, like, sharing her faith and people not really understanding their need for God. And Marcus, who's the Roman aristocrat, you can just see him struggling with how he is, but he's not fully come to the realization that he needs a savior. And Atreides, he's just struggling. So it's just very interesting. It's very much like a lot has happened in these characters' lives, but it's not necessarily all been on paper for the reader to experience with the characters. So it's definitely, in my opinion, more along the side of character development, more character-driven story. I wouldn't necessarily say I am enjoying it, if that makes sense, because it is so heavy, but I am interested and I am intrigued. So I will keep trucking right along and see what all has happened. There's been one plot twist that I was not expecting to happen. It was something that happened to a secondary character, but it was unexpected. And it has changed things up for the 2 of the main characters. So, also I meant to say, as far as her writing goes, I can definitely see she is a good writer. The only critique I have is that sometimes, well, this is third person, but it has like paragraphs where it hyper focuses on one character, like you have third person specific. I don't know, like I'm not good with naming what exactly that terminology is for it, but you know what I'm saying. Like Hadassah, it's written in third person, but it's focused on Hadassah, and then it'll switch to Marcus. So it will switch like in between paragraphs, and it takes me my brain a second to be like, oh, I'm focusing on Hadassah's perspective right now versus Marcus. And I just wish there was a break between paragraphs for my mind to be like, oh, I need to switch here. But it's doable. Like, it's not, it just takes my brain a minute, and that just may be a me thing. And I don't know if that's common for her books. So, yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say right now. It was a little chatty update, halfway update. It's taking me a while to physically read this. I have not picked it back up on audio. I just don't feel like listening to it right now. I am listening to other things at the moment, so I am perfectly content to physically read this at this point in time. And yeah, we'll see where I end up with it. But so far, I'm gonna keep going. Hello, it is Thursday, April 23rd. And I stayed up late last night, way later than I should have, to read more of A Voice in the Wind. This is how far I am. Got, a lot less left. I'm at chapter 27, which is the start of another section of the book. So we're at a crossroads here. There was already hard topics in here, but now the hard topics are closer to home as far as the main characters goes. There's one character in particular that it's just watching a train wreck happen. All these terrible things that have happened to her, and then just the situations she's put herself in or she's found herself in has led her to do absolutely unforgivable things as far as in the eyes of human beings. But, the Hadassah character, she really is just a picture of a Christ follower and how it is difficult to live your faith. And she still loves the people around her just as Jesus loves. Like, she's always looking out for other people, and she's just different. Like, she's talked several times about like feeling like a failure for not sharing her faith more explicitly, but the characters around her know she's different, and you can start to see them kind of question things. And it's just so fascinating seeing how these stories are interwoven together, and how faith is just such a strong thread throughout. Because that one character I mentioned, I'm just like, I really want her to have a redemption arc. I really do. She is in a dark, dark place, and it was hard to read. Like, this book probably checks off pretty much all of the triggers. Some more in depth than others. I mean, still, I think Francine does a decent job of saying things bluntly without giving graphic detail, but detail still is there for you to know what's happening. But still, it will be too much for some readers. And I was just reading this late at night, and I was like, this is a lot. And I've been told that this book has ripped people's hearts out. So we'll see what it does to me, if it makes me cry. My heart was hurting for what was happening, though. Like, I just know this is not, based on real life or anything, but I can imagine some of these things probably did happen to some people, or something very similar. So just, it's very sad. Hello, I'm sitting outside. I got done with work, and it's a beautiful day. And I thought, there's some other things I could be doing right now. There's chores that could probably get done. I could probably film a video. But I really just want to sit and read outside. I've been wanting to for the longest time, because finally, praise the Lord, winter is done. There have been a few cold snaps here and there. Freeze warnings in spring. I don't understand it, but okay. But I do believe spring is, here to stay. And I've been wanting to sit outside and read. So I can't even tell you the last time I've actually done that. So here we are. I'm going to read more of this book and maybe do a time lapse of me reading. So before I need to go pick up my kids. So I don't have a ton of time, but we will take every minute we can get. All right, here we go. 24th. It is Friday. I got done with work. Fridays are my errand days. I work for half the day, and then I have a couple of hours to get some things done without my kids, so they're at daycare. It just kind of helps me out a little bit since I kind of handle the majority of... there's somebody walking beside me in the car. This is embarrassing. What was I saying? It's kind of complicated, and bring out 2 little kids with you on errands. I can do it. It's just a lot easier if I'm solo. And anyways, I cannot get a haircut with both of them. So, especially this place, because I'm going to, it's a school. It's a stylist school. So they take forever and a day to cut your hair, but it's cheap. So, I will probably be here for a while because they have to get approval from the teacher, and the teacher gives techniques, and they go back and forth, and they also wash your hair and all the things. So I'm going to be here for a little while. So I am going to be possibly reading more of this while I'm waiting. I am really close to being done. But I wanted to show y'all the before. Yeah, it's quite long. I don't know if I'm going to go bold or not. I am kind of tossing up styles, and there's one I'm thinking of. I don't know if I have the guts right now. But I don't want it to be shorter, at least. So this is the before, and I'm gonna show you the after. Full transparency, it is the next day. It is Saturday. To be perfectly honest, the people that did my hair, so the girl that was cutting it, the student, she put some product on, and then the instructor comes and drenches my bangs, specifically because they had to cut my bangs. I got my bangs cut. Drenches my hair with 2 different products, and then the student came and drenched them again for a 4th time. So I look like my hair had been washed in a week. So I did not want to share that visual on the interwebs. So yeah, so here's my haircut. Yay! It's got a lot of length off of it. Not a lot, but a decent amount. I took off several inches, and I got some bangs again to face framing. So it's a beautiful Saturday, and I'm taking advantage of the hubs being home and nap time. So I am going on a little adventure, a bookish adventure, which I never get to do. So I'm going to finally check out these little free libraries. So here we go. Don't love mass markets. I really don't. Karen Kingsbury book. Have yet to read her. I don't think any of that sounds. Who is an amazing reader? Me. That's cute. Alright. And I think down here is some kids ones. This is really hard to do one-handed. Let's see. Aw, look, it's got little basset hounds. That's so stinking cute. I don't think we really need any of these. Judy Blume. Cornelia and the Escapades of the Somerset Sisters. Interesting. Okay. Babysitter's Club. I don't think that's the actual famous one, but nothing for me here. But it is really super cute with the basset hounds. Look at this one. Isn't it cute? This little dinosaur themed one. I already opened it before, and I realized I was not showing it well. So Clementine. I've heard of Clementine. Has anybody read it? Jenny Pickle. I used to like her. I don't know. That was years ago. I don't remember if her books were good or not. The Child Finder. I don't know. The Wizard of Oz. I read that in middle school, and I did not like it. I know it's Lucy's, one of Lucy's favorite books, though, so I feel bad, but I did not like it. Okay. It was like this when I opened it, so no luck for there either, but it's cute. I was just at that yard sale, and lo and behold, I passed a free library. So this one was not in the app, but I was passing it. I was like, oh, I'll stop. But I see a Nicholas Sparks book, but I don't really think I see anything that stands out to me. Okay, this one looks promising, I hope. Oh, I like that knob. Okay. All right, let's see. There's another Karen Kingsbury. I don't know if I'm a Karen Kingsbury girl. Ender's Game. I might get that. I don't know if it's clean or not. I've not seen the movie, I don't think. Spinning Silver. I do not own that, nor have I read it. Yay, finally getting some good stuff. Murder, Freshly Baked. I have seen this. I have seen that. Okay, I think I'm going to get that. Finally! It's National Security, a Jericho Quinn thriller. I don't know about that. Strictly no. I read these. I don't know if it's clean. I don't remember if it is. I don't think I've read that one. I've read something else in the series, maybe. All right, let's move down. Oh, love the doggy treats. All right. I don't know. Care and feeding of ravenously hungry girls. Ooh, I don't know about that. Julie and Julia. Okay, I've seen the movie. Wonder if that's good. I may get that. I have a lot of books to trade. That's why I've been holding on to them this whole time. Your Oasis. No, thank you. Molly's Craft book. Yes. Oh my goodness, I've hit the jackpot. Finally. Okay. Let's see. The Palace of Illusions. I don't know about that. Interkeeper. Racing around. I don't know about that either. Okay, let's see. Oh, a Dear America book. And I do believe I have read that, but it's been so long. Oh my goodness. This is a good, look at my pile I'm accumulating. All right, let's see. Oh, Titanic. Do I have this one? I don't know. Okay, I don't remember if I have that one or not. Self-Esteem Garden. Sullivan. I don't know about that. Air Project. Oh, let me put this up here. Okay. Beware of Boys. Astrophysics. Story of George Washington Carver. Cover looks cool. Story of Ben Franklin. Might have to get that for my kids. I'm so excited. This is a good one. Ooh, another Dear America. And they have stickers too. What? Okay. All right. Yep, I'm getting the Dear Americas. Those cost a pretty penny in the grand scheme of things. I got stickers. Read. This is so sweet. I'm gonna have to grab a sticker. Oh, and they have bookmarks too. Oh, I love it. There's all this stuff. That's weird. Okay. Oh, they have a little guest book thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to write in that, I guess. I don't know, but yay! I'm gonna show y'all what I'm dropping off. Hold on. Okay, I decided to answer Julie and Julia. I don't think I'll read that anytime soon. If not, I can get it from the library. But these are mine. These are what I'm leaving behind. So yay! A successful trip. 2 hours later, I've lost count of how many Little Free Libraries I went to. Plus, I went to 3 yard sales. There were a lot of yard sales today, and it took me a little while to find some of them. One time I got turned around. I'm directionally challenged, but anyways, yeah, it was nice. It was nice driving around, just me, for 2 hours, doing something I wanted to do that's not like an errand, which, like I said, I don't get to hardly ever do. So it did feel kind of unproductive at first because I really wasn't finding anything at the yard sales, and all the little free libraries, I got clips of a few of them, but a lot of them I didn't even bother because the first one I went to, it had a sign that did not have Christian values in the yard, and I was like, and I went up to the box, and it had stuff that I would not read in it. And then there was one that was not even there anymore. It was still in the Little Free Library app thing, but it was not there. A couple with only children's books, kids books, and that's fine. But I was really looking for something for me, so I didn't take any from those. I didn't really see anything good anyway, and yeah, there was just one that smelled really bad. So I have found out the ones not to go to. And the last one I went to, I was like, I was keeping with it. I had like at least 5 that I'd gone to. Maybe 6, or I can't remember how many it was. I could probably count, but I'm not going to. It was a lot. But this last one I went to, y'all saw I got Molly's craft book, like any time you can find American Girl stuff, you just gotta snag it. Murder Freshly Baked by Vanetta Chapman, a history of the American Revolution. Like, look at this, y'all. Look, it's got pictures and stuff. How cool is that? And then the story of Benjamin Franklin. Look, it's got pictures. Like, this is more my speed for nonfiction. A Titanic book, which I think we do have, but I grabbed it just in case. I could possibly just give it we could have multiple copies. I have 2 kids, right? So Dear America, Dreams in the Golden Country, and Early Sunday Morning. I do remember reading this as a kid. And then Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. So I'm curious to see if this is clean. I have no idea. But a productive Little Free Library visit, finally. So there are some more like further away that I want to try to eventually go to, but I gotta get back to the kids now. Happy Sunday. I'm at another Little Free Library. Yes, I am, because apparently now I'm addicted. And I love using the app to check in, and this one was right next to where I'm going to get groceries, so I thought, why not? I need to get a rest of books anyway. So look at it. It's so cute. It's in like this little like mini oasis with flowers and stuff. I love it. So let's see what we have. Oh, this is always hard with one hand. Okay. Whoop! It's going to fall out. Oh no. Okay. So let me put my keys here. Okay. One hand, always difficult. Okay, Midwives. Don't know. Looks like it's a thriller. A Darkling Plain. 4 Agreements. 5th Agreement. Change of Fortune. I don't know about that. A Girl Who Drank the Moon. I've heard of that, but I can't remember if it's recommended or not. Holes. The Magician's Nephew. Is this the one with the... I don't remember if this is the one that... Oop! I need one in an edition. I don't know if it's this one or not. I'm gonna have to research it and may or may not take that. Let's see. Clementine. Here's another Clementine. Okay. Nancy Drew Diaries. Nancy Drew Diaries. One Fish, Two Fish. I hate that book. I have told my husband that he has to read it, not me. Okay. Peter Rabbit. Okay, let's see. Softly as I Leave You. Life After Elvis. Robert Crawdad Sing. Magnolia Parks. Long for the Ride. Sarah Dessen. I used to read Sarah Dessen as a teenager. This one has a decent amount of stuff in it. Is this another library book? Okay, no. It's one that's not supposed to be in the library anymore. Okay. Well, let me figure out if I need to take this. If I need this. Because this is a nice edition. I may just take it just because. Okay. I think I'm going to take this and I'm going to leave. Ooh, one hand. I'm going to leave and drama key. So. The one-hand struggles are real. So sorry. Okay, there it is. Yay! It is 11:30 finished. I did not cry, but I feel emotionally beat up. I don't really know, I'm processing. I literally finished this 15-20 minutes ago, and I've been sitting with it ever since. And I don't know what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. I just feel like I've been in a train wreck and I'm just beaten up beyond repair. I do know at this point in time that Hadassah's faith is very encouraging and almost convicting, would I do the same thing in her situation type of thing? And it gut punches you with the things that she's gone through this whole book, and how she still stands true for the Lord the whole time, even though she has a little bit of a growth in her faith a little bit. I think her faith is pretty strong throughout it. But, yeah, I don't want to say too much because this is supposed to be a non-spoilery vlog. And plus, honestly, I don't know what to think at this point. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to sleep on it. And it's one of those books where you have to process. And this is unlike anything I have ever read. So I need to process even more than I typically would. I don't even know, I was just thinking, there's some things that I don't love, but also it's real. And then there's some things about Francine's writing that I didn't love, but again, it's pretty minor. I don't know. I need to stop talking. I need to let out my dogs and go to bed, so check in later. Hello, some time has passed. It is now May 4th, so happy Star Wars Day. I have my May the Lord Be With You t-shirt on in commemoration. But I wanted to put an end clip to this vlog. I was putting the clips together and realized I never gave you my final thoughts. So here they are. This book emotionally wrecked me for several days. 3 days where I just felt emotionally whiplashed, emotionally drained. This was a lot. So I ended up picking up Escaping Pirates to kind of give my heart a little bit of a reprieve, just to pick me up. I knew this would make me happy. But I did, immediately after I finished this, I did glaze through the first 2 pages of the book 2 insert that's in here. So I had an idea of the immediate next events. So I just personally needed that little bit of a break. So I am planning on picking up book 2 after I finish Escaping Pirates. So I'm almost done with it, so that should be coming soon. As far as my rating goes, I rated this 4.5 stars. I'm really surprised by how much I liked this. I hesitate to use the word enjoyed because this has some pretty heavy subject matter. A lot of times I had a feeling of dread, just seeing a car crash happen in front of me kind of situation. It's just some of these horrible things that are happening. But there was such a faith thread throughout. Hadassah's character was so inspiring. It just really challenged my faith and making me think about what would I do for my faith. And yeah, I just thought this was an important book for me to read. Again, this is not for everybody, but I felt it was important in my faith walk, and I look forward to book 2. I also, by the way, really appreciated Oshina's book club. I did join in. I was so excited because it was during my kids' nap time on Saturday, because most of the time, book discussions happen whenever I can't participate. I'm getting ready for bed with the kids or whatever. And thank you, Oshina, for having it at the time you did, because I could participate, and I really appreciated it because it was like an emotional support group. I had talked to Lauren and Alma about, we all read it and we talked about our thoughts on the side as well, but being in the comments while Oshina was talking about this book live was really fun, and a really fun hour to spend. So I really liked it. So I am going to share with you a few things. Like I said, some time has passed since the last clip, and I have acquired a few things that I wanted to share with y'all. So first up, let's look at some books. I did, in fact, go to some more free little libraries. I didn't do any clips because this vlog is already long enough as it is, and I want to show you these things. But I'm addicted to going to little free libraries now, y'all. It's a problem, but it's a fun problem to have. I got rid of all of the books that I have unhauled off my shelves, and I got a few kids' books and books for me. So there are less going back on the shelves than what I took off, which is good. I found the Frozen River by Ariel Lawhorn. I have seen this book talked about a lot on BookTube. It is a secular book about a midwife set in 1789, and I've heard this is a hard-hitting, difficult book to read, and I feel more confident. I've just read a really heavy book. I feel more confident that I could read something like this. And y'all, this free little library, I'm going to have to do another free little library video later on, but this was from an all-time favorite free little library. I met the woman who owns it. She was doing yard work right in front of it when I was there, and it was so well stocked, so well taken care of. She had such a passion, and it was so nice. She restocked it recently with books. This is one of the ones that she bought, and this is a brand new book, y'all. Like, I was so excited. Also, at that same little free library, I got a coloring book, Garland of Grace. And so just the cover itself is stunning, but it is a coloring book with scripture in it. And so I have always wanted a coloring book with scripture. I don't know when I'll have time to color. I always love the idea of coloring, but I just never actually have time to do it. So I'm hoping maybe I'll be inspired to do some. The next book I got, I ordered off of Walmart. It was a used book off of Walmart, and I had agreed to buddy read with Whitney. Triggers. It's Exchanging Parents' Angry Reactions for Gentle Biblical Responses. It's a long subtitle, but it's by Amber Leah and Wendy Speak, and we're going to read this in May as well. But I tried listening to an audiobook. I was going to just listen to this because my library has it on Hoopla on audio, but I really have discovered through a nonfiction, like a factual nonfiction book I read this past month, that I need it physically. So I got this for less than $5 off of Walmart with shipping included and everything. So that was a really cool find. And thank you, Whitney, for telling me about it. And then I got 3 books from my church. They give out books every now and again. So these are ones that they like to share. It was a graduation themed event they had, but they love giving these to graduates, or college students rather. So Do Not Be True to Yourself by Kevin DeYoung. So it's a short little thing. Most speeches addressed to high school and college graduates follow similar themes. March to the beat of your own drum and follow your dreams. Sure, this may sound uplifting, but Scripture commands believers to submit to God's will, not our own desires. So the Hubs grabbed that one. He wanted that one. And this one is Conversion, How God Creates a People by Michael Lawrence. So one of our church members really talked well about that one. And then I saw this as well. It's like brand new in its packaging and everything. Do You Believe by Paul David Tripp. 12 Historic Doctrines to Change Your Everyday Life. So don't really even know when or if I will get to that anytime soon, but we got those. The Hubs is really into Christian nonfiction, so he may even get to it before I do. And he's not much of a reader, so this is exciting that he is actually reading things. Last thing I did want to share, I did kind of mention it already in my YouTube shorts, but I wanted to kind of go over it a little bit more in depth in this vlog. So I really recommend, if you're a parent, to get the parenting layout Happy Planner if you're a planner girly. This one's really pretty. It's got like florals. I'm a sucker for florals, so look how pretty. But I have used so many planners, and I always go back to the Happy Planner. I love the disc bound system. But this one in particular, I started thinking about, like, I need to get back into using a planner because I'm forgetting things. I need to write things down. I try to do digital planning, but I never get in there to write it in digitally, so I need something to write in, I guess. But I wanted to show you this one because I really have been eyeballing some mom type planners, but they're like $50+ and I got this for $30, so I was really quite happy about that. So you have your perpetual planner, sorry about the shadows, but your perpetual planner up front to write your days in, and then you have your standard monthly view. The sun is not quite cooperating well with me. So you have looking back on last month's highlights and memories. So you have it sectioned out to family, friends, home, work, health, fun, and finances. So try my best to Vanna White here, but family, focus, and goals. So different goal setting. I don't even know if I'll use this. Maybe since it's there, I'll be inclined to, but I really am interested in the weekly layout. This is where I will really focus. So top 5 home chores to buy, due dates, meal plans, and notes, and then you have your week at a glance. And I really like I don't have a ton of stuff right now, so I feel like this is like the perfect amount of space. And oh, it even has just notice at the bottom, a favorite moment for the week, which is really, really sweet. And we flip forward to, yeah, it just has like a notes thing at the end. So this starts in July, so July 2026 to June 2027. So I'm not able to use it yet, but I'm really looking forward to the time that I will, and it gives people plenty of time to grab their own if they so choose. I do have a referral code that I got from purchasing that. Like, anybody gets that referral code if they buy from them. So that's just the one that I got. I think you can get like $10 off of your first purchase with them, and it gives me like a free code or something I get out of it. I don't even know. I just like the helping another person out by giving you $10 off, because $10 off is awesome. So feel free to look for that in the description box if you're interested in Happy Planner. But I just wanted to share that because, you know, moms need all the help we can get. So there's that. But I think that's everything for this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day, y'all. Bye.